Hi guys, it's Jackie. Yesterday I saw The Mummy. Have you guys seen The Mummy? It was totally nothing that I expected, but honestly I don't know what I expected. The trailer didn't really give us anything. There wasn't really anything to it. I had no idea what this movie was going to be. Honestly, I still have no idea what that movie was. I would love to watch it again, and I can't believe I'm saying that after everything I experienced in the theater with this movie. So I'm not gonna lie, the first entire, this movie's like 2 hours and 14 minutes long. The first entire hour, I was a little bored. Just a little. It took its time getting set up, which is fine, because in the final half, things get crazy, so crazy. But the first half of the movie was a little slow. Some of the buildup was good, some of it was maybe a little unnecessary. Maybe they could have picked some better moments to build the characters. I did not find the parents likable. I'm not sure if they are supposed to be likable. They are both in a very tough situation. It's going to bring out the ugly in anybody, but I did not like the mom. I did not like the dad. They were both very unpleasant people. Right at the start of the movie, he is like a newscaster, like a news guy that speaks on TV. I'm doing this. Actually, something he gets made fun of is talking with his hands like this, and he asks his wife, "Do I talk with my hands too much? Is that annoying? Do you think that puts people off?" And she won't answer him, and then she finally admits that, yeah, it's annoying. I'm like, whoa, okay, that's not very nice, but sure. And then the storyline with the daughter before she actually gets napped, there's not really much there. We don't really get to know her much other than setting up the absolute necessities. We know that she's a very straight A, very into things kind of girl. She's learning Morse code. She's a Girl Scout with many badges. She's trying to get her father to grill her, to really test her on Morse code because she wants to learn it very badly. She's studying it really hard. This comes in handy later with communication. So that's something that can be used to talk about her personality. Studious, very strict with herself, had very specific interests. And then we get a scene where her brother throws her doll over the roof and breaks it, and she's very upset and mad about this. And that's about all we get. She's mad at her family because they don't punish him. The dad patches up the doll for her, and that's about it. The doll does seem like symbolism. The way that when she comes back as a mummy, she is very patched up. The way that the doll is wrapped up is kind of similar to her and how it was repaired, so that was a good moment. What is to come, the damage that will be done to her and what she will have to go through and suffer through. But I feel like that imagery, that symbolism would have had more impact if we had gotten to know her just a little better outside of the doll breaking, learning Morse code, and being lured in by her kidnapper. That's about all we get from her. There's not a lot of character building there. Later in the movie, when she is saved, she barely speaks. She doesn't really say anything. She doesn't have anything to say about the whole ordeal. I can understand if you didn't really want to talk after that whole thing. That's a lot she went through. She has to process mentally. She probably doesn't even know what to say about it. Who even knows what she remembers from being a mummy, from what happened with her family, the whole ordeal, what went down, who knows? She doesn't really speak. She doesn't really say anything. So I feel like she is not given the character that she should be. Her time as a mummy, as a cursed mummy, is very visceral. That's about all we get from her, is the very visceral things. We don't get any real personality that makes this feel like such a tragedy. Most people would think it's just a tragedy that happens to a child. Of course it is, but we could have had some more character from her, some more personality put into her so that this has more gravity. I wanted to see more of her as a character. But I will say something this movie has going for it there are a lot of women characters. A lot of women characters at the forefront of this film. There's the Egyptian woman in the police force that leads the missing persons department. She is totally cool. Best character in the movie, honestly. She is so cool and hardcore. Love her. There's the wife, but she doesn't really do anything, and she's kind of unpleasant. There's the grandma who has her best intentions and tries to help her messed up little granddaughter the best she can. Yeah, this is fine. The main antagonist of this movie is a woman. There's also the little sister that a lot of focus is put on. The relationship between her and her older sister. Their position in the family and what it means to be friends with her, and the influence of the older sister on the younger sister. I will say that this movie is a wild ride. Okay, if you're going to watch this, it is wild, totally gross, totally foul. Absolutely foul. You better be ready for some gross stuff. It's not really scary, although when I was done with it, I was very tense and on edge, and I'm not gonna lie, I was looking out of the corner of my eyes to make sure nothing on all fours was gonna run towards me. So maybe you could say it scared me a little. Mostly it was gross. Mostly it was disgusting. This is basically a play on the exorcism genre with mummies and Egyptian demonology. Basically, the daughter has been not really mummified, but she had a demon, an Egyptian demon spirit locked inside of her. She has to be exorcised of this Egyptian spirit. So it's basically an Egyptian demon exorcism movie. Now, how this movie plays with the exorcism genre is kind of interesting. It plays into a lot of the main points of an exorcism movie, but it also subverts it in places. If you watch it and you have experience with exorcism movies, you will know what I'm talking about, I think. It takes the family dynamics of an exorcism movie and it plays into them, but it also kind of switches it up. We have the mother who wants to take care of the daughter no matter what she says, no matter what she does, no matter what sort of things happen. We have the dad who is very hesitant and reluctant, and he sees the state that his daughter is in and he's not happy with it, and he wants to help her, but he doesn't know what to do. He does some research to help her, as the dads usually do in these movies. And then we have the siblings who are usually greatly affected by the happening. So the family structure is disrupted when one of the kids has an issue, just like in real families. The mother wants to accept her as she is forever, not admit there's anything wrong with her, to just help her. She says she can fix her. The father, on the other hand, wants to fight to help her to remove this. Just accepting her as she is as a mummy is not helping. This movie is just absolutely totally foul, so be prepared for that if you want to watch this. This is a gross out movie. That's where they try to get you in this. Totally disgusting. Like The Exorcist, they're really trying to push it to a level of gravity and disgustingness and exercise in the foul. So many disgusting things happen in this. Honestly though, if you're gonna watch this, trigger warnings, I would say very uncomfortable family dynamics later on when things get really going. Uncomfortable things there. You know, obviously children being kidnapped, the implications there and trauma there for people, but there is a very clear metaphor there, so be very careful if you are wary of those subjects or if those subjects affect you very deeply, because it does also have some theming around that. At the end of the movie, when things are really going crazy, the grandma is just eating giant handfuls of spoiled funeral food, and I was like, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I've already seen the worst. I've already seen the worst thing my eyeballs could possibly see. But I will say that that policewoman is so cool. Best part of the movie, from start to finish. Her character arc, her story, her development, best character. If you're gonna watch the movie, watch it just for her. This was honestly very different from what I expected, but again, I didn't know what I expected. I just went in like, hey, it's a new movie featuring mummies. What are we gonna do? Where are we gonna go? Basically just the exorcism route. It's just a little bit of a different wrapping, different packaging. I was not sure what to think about this movie at first. I was not sure if I was gonna like it within the first hour, which usually I'm like, if I don't like it within the first hour, I'm not sure if it's gonna be for me. But once everything hit, it went pretty far. It went pretty far, and I respect it for that. I respect it for that. The part about the beginning that annoyed me so much is I didn't know where it was going. If we were gonna go for a metaphorical grief storyline, or if it was just gonna be exactly what it says, cursed mummy movie. Pretty much what it is, with a sprinkling of the other. It's pretty much just a straightforward gross out mummy movie with a little bit of some symbolism and metaphorical storylines in there. Once we get to everything, once this movie tells us what it's doing and what's gonna happen, that's when it really shines. That's when it gets good. When it gets really gross, that's when you know the movie is gonna go hard. And it did. Oh my god, it did. Once everything finally started happening, I was like, okay. And I want to watch it again pretty bad, honestly. Like, I want to watch it again and analyze it with my brain. But I had a lot of fun watching it, honestly. At first, I didn't think I was going to, but then I did. It was a fun experience in the theaters because it totally blew my expectations. I just want to be shocked. I want to feel like, wow, I didn't expect that. And that's what you did. You really brought out things that I didn't think you were going to. Really pulled out all the stops and went for it. That is my favorite thing in a movie. It's just to be hit in the face with stuff I did not see coming. That's my favorite part. And if that is not what you like in movies, you will probably not like this movie, because that's pretty much all it is. It's just smacking you in the face over and over with just crazy stuff. I ended up enjoying the whole showdown scene very much. Best part of the movie. The ending was pretty satisfying too. There were some issues I had with it, the wrap up of the story and what they chose to emphasize there in the storyline versus maybe stuff that was more relevant with the daughter and her character. Instead, we end on a note that is more satisfying for the parents, which is good that the parents got some relief and got closure. And I do like that, but I kind of wish that it was more centralized with the daughter's storyline, that it had more to do with her. A lot of focus on the parents in this movie and not as much on the trauma that the daughter went through. Her trauma is mostly shown through the exorcism stuff, which is cool and all, but we also need focus on her once she is outside of her mummy state. It gave me a lot to think about, even though it also is quite straightforward. If you want a movie that really makes you think and you love psychological stuff, this isn't going to be it. This is not that type of movie. I recommend it. Go watch this weird movie. Tell me what you think. What did you think about the daughter's storyline? What do you think about how they handled the parents' storyline? What do you think about all the crazy stuff that went down when she was cursed? I want to know what other people think about this movie and your opinion. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. Bye!